We can still win this war. We can still win this war. How many of y'all are warring in some way, form, or fashion this morning? Something's going on in your life that you're in a war. It wasn't a fight, because a fight over normally in 5 minutes. No, but it's a war going on in your life that you can't quite control. You think you get up on this war, and then you look, and it seems like now those that you're warring against are causing you to retreat. Have you ever been there? I thought I had this credit card paid, and when I paid it all, I realized, talking true vernacular of today, I was only paying the interest. I paid $300 on the card, and only $125 went to the principal. They took the rest. That's a war within itself. I know some of y'all from the hood like me, you thinking about a physical war with your next door neighbor. I let you borrow some soap. Now I need my soap back, and you won't give it back. I'm not talking about that war. I'm talking about something serious. I'm talking about a spiritual war that you've been dealing with almost a lifetime, and you don't have the answer to it. And even if you heard this before, you didn't adhere to it. We hear a lot in church on Sundays and Wednesdays, and we never adhere to it, and then we blame the church on why we're not successful or why we're not succeeding. It's not that. It's just like you go to a gas station and we give you a gas card. You go to the gas station. You never pump the gas. You leave the gas station. Then you're mad with the gas attendant because your car ran out of gas. God is saying the same thing right here in this spiritual warfare. We're fighting the wrong war. You're still mad at your third cousin because she took your man. I need to get back down to Florida. They love this in Florida when I preach. Like, up here we looking crazy. But it's the truth. Okay, maybe not your third cousin, maybe your second cousin. You mad at the cousin instead of being mad at the man. If he loved you like he say he did, he would never adhere to her. That's the same thing holds true with this fight with Satan. We're mad at God and other people because we don't understand or see the true enemy. Because the fight that we have been taught to fight is make sure you keep your head out the way and make sure when you throw, you're protecting yourself with your other hand. But this thing that we're fighting is spiritual. This thing don't have hands. This thing is overpowering. It has authority over the airwaves. So when you wonder why people having all this fighting on all these different virtualities, it's because the thing that's overseeing it is Satan. The Bible declared that God gave Satan rule over the airwaves. So that's why you have all this Facebook fighting and all this Twitter fighting and X fighting and all that stuff, because Satan's over it. And Satan loves confrontation. Satan loves conflict. Satan loves anything that's not good. He loves anything that brings about darkness. If your life is dark right now, you have to look who's authoring it. Satan's probably authoring your life at this time. We can still win this war. Paul is writing this letter from jail. Sister Brooks, he's writing this, Mother Brooks, from jail. He's not writing this from a plush place where he's eating grapes and looking over the Mediterranean Sea. No, he's in jail. He's handcuffed to a guard every day. But yet he finds the time to share with us, the church, if you would, Ephesus in here. This is how we're fighting. This is what we're fighting against. This is how we can beat it. We have to make sure that we're fully equipped. You go to church to become equipped to go back out there and do your fighting. You should never have to do your fighting in the church, because everybody should be trying to put on their own equipment to make sure they can get out there and go out there and defend what God has put in them. We're going to talk about that in a few minutes, because we don't understand the weaponry that God has provided with us, the ammunition that God has given us, and how we can serve Satan his rights. We run from the fight. And then we tell people we ain't never scared and do all this stuff that they say, but you really are scared because you're not fighting Satan. You'd rather fight your kinfolk. You'd rather fight your boss on your job. You'd rather argue with your coworkers. You'd rather argue with Section 8 people or whomever. But you won't argue with Satan, because you can't see Satan, because you have become a part of Satan's army. So you never fight against your soldier mates. You fight against the enemy, and the enemy for you has become Christ and his angels and his Christians and those who really live for Christ. We talked 2 weeks ago about how lions live and how lions wake up every day and how lions wake up with one thing on their mind: hunt. Lions they wake up every day with the mindset of hunting. Because if I don't eat, I get weak. And if I get weak, then the other apex predators will kill me. Not because they want to eat me, but because they fear me. So they wake up every day saying that I got to hunt. And what are they hunting? Now they go in and they go out there and hunt that gazelle all the time or whatever else out there come across them. So the gazelle wakes up and know that the gazelle has to wake up saying, I can't be the slowest. Because if I'm the slowest gazelle, then I'm going to be the one get eaten by the lion. Now, I don't have to be the fastest gazelle, but I can't be the slowest. That's their cycle for living. Wake up every day, Al, the lion's hungry. The gazelle wake up every day making sure that they're fit enough not to be the slowest. Because you'll see them sometime where the lion get up on them, they'll leave their children. They figure I can have and birth another child, but I can't birth another me. We can still win in the situations that we're in. Whether you're waking up to in the morning, or you're the hunter or the hunted. Are you the one who are solution focused? Or are you one who use excuses? I mean, really, in your life, like, what are you doing? Are you really one who wake up every day and say, I'm hunting today. I'm sick of where I am on my job. I'm not blaming anybody else. I'm going out here and redo my resume. Because at the end of the day, no one owes you nothing. Let me tell you this right here. Now, this is going to surprise some people. God don't owe you nothing. God don't owe us nothing, Andy, because God has given us all he's going to give when he said, I made my grace and mercy what? Sufficient, which means as long as you need, it will be provided. I don't care how much you need it, it's there. But we don't want to take it because we have become lazy in Christianity and we want hand-me-downs. That's why I love the eagle. The eagle wins because it's in their battle is in their mind first. They know they're eagles. It's in their mind. You lose because your mind is toxic. Your toxication has become from what your eyes have seen and brought back to your mind, or what your ears have heard and brought back to your mind. So your mind is intoxicated, and so you can't really relish in the way you want to. But the eagle flies alone. DeAndre, you like this? You love history like me. The eagle, it's the reason that they rule the airways. The eagle rule the airways because they roll alone. But even like us, they get to a point in life where they have to make a decision on whether or not they're going to live. Now, they're one of the longest living animals out there. An eagle, when right, can live 70 years. 70 years. Not dog years. Man years. 1 year every 12 months, 2 years, next 12 months, 3 years, 70. But it costs them to win. Once they get 40 years old, around 40, they have to make a decision. Somebody say a decision. I'm all off my message. So they have to make a decision. It's not where you're sitting now that has caused you to be where you are. It's how your mindset has been that caused you to be where you are. You putting up with foolishness, your mindset is attracted to foolishness. You don't want to hang around people that's going to challenge you. You don't want to hang with people that's going to push you. You don't want to hang with people that are going to hold you accountable. You want to hang with people that tell you every week your hair look good. Your graduation gift every 2 weeks is the fact that your coworkers tell you your hair look good. But Paul wasn't in a jail sitting there writing this handcuff to an officer to tell you your hair look good. He was sitting there writing to tell you can still win. I don't care what it looked like this morning, you can still win. Back to the eagle. The eagle at 40 has to make a decision. Mother Claudette, the decision is this: I'm getting older and it shows. I have to make the decision because now the thing that has made me dangerous, my beak, has now rolled up under. So I can't even hunt no more and kill my prey with my beak, or nor can I open up my prey after I killed it. He got to make a decision. He said, now my talons, they're old. My fingernails, what we call them, I got to make a decision because they don't have the strength no more to pull. And thirdly, Gardenia favors, he tells me that my feathers are now heavy. My feathers have gotten older. Like the older we get, we bring weight with us. Well, they feathers get bad. Y'all, somebody need to be real in here. Y'all heard, when you get older, you have that weight. It's harder to get that weight off you. I need some people in here this morning that'll be, you one of those people who have grown old, you ought to stand up and say, it's hard to get this weight off me. But then turn around one time and say, but I'm getting ready to fly like an eagle. Yeah, sitting down like you fine. Sitting around, they sitting here, Sister Quanta, like they fine. It ain't me talking to. I'm talking to you. Your waistline has expanded. Okay. Back to the eagle. So the eagle has to make a decision, because that's what we're going to do this morning. With the decision, the eagle has to fly up into the mountains. Now, flying high in high altitudes ain't nothing new to the eagle. That's why it's hard to identify eagle, because they fly high. Because they say if I fly low, I'm going to start flying with cardinals, blue jays, hummingbirds, and worse than that, I might come across a pigeon. Eagles don't deal with pigeons because pigeons eat whatever people leave out. I've seen pigeons try to eat cigarette butts. Yeah, I work downtown, and so when I just go to the park for lunch sometimes, Central City Park over there, you'll see the pigeons, and all they do is just beg. They can't talk, but they flap the wings and just beg as they expect people to feed them. Well, see, eagles don't fly like that. Some of y'all are in the state you're in because you can be an eagle, but you hang with pigeons. You hang with pigeons because pigeons make you feel good. They making $12 an hour, you making $15 an hour. You have the audacity to look down on them, and both of y'all still renting apartments. They don't like this today, Mr. C, but I'm going to preach it. The pigeon looks around and wait on people to feed them, and they just fall around all in bunches and wait on people to throw saltine cracker crust at them or whatever. But the eagle said, I don't need people to feed me. I'm an apex predator. I fly high. And what people don't realize that makes this note so significant about their beak is the fact that everything an eagle eats, it kills. It kills it. It kills it. See, they're not lazy and they're not codependent upon people like church folk. We're codependent on talking to somebody on the phone, gossip lying on the phone about somebody else, and then all in the name of the Lord. When you're on your phone talking about more other people more than you're on your knees praying to God, you're a pigeon. You're a pigeon, and you don't want to win. And guess what? You will not win in the long run doing that, because you can fool me, but you can't fool him. I live my life not how I come across to you, but how I come across to him, because he has the ticket to where I want to go. Fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let your spirit follow me. That's what the lyrics to the song say. It's a 70s song. I'm 55, 56 years old, so I guess y'all under 45, 50 don't know that. Fly like an eagle. There you go, see Elder out there waving his hand. Yeah, young people, they don't make songs that make sense like that. The eagle goes and he makes a decision to fly up into the high mountains. Now, what he has to do is excruciating. And I've talked a little bit about the eagle before, but I've never went into the eagle in depth like this. The eagle, once he gets there, he has to make a decision to find a stone, a hard rock, and break his beak. Yes, yes. That's how it looks a lot of times when people walk to the altar and they've been out there selling that dope, making all that money, but they ready to give it up, and they come to the altar, and somebody out there walking over there, one of them crackheads or somebody who working for them, don't go to the altar, Walter. Don't break the beak, Walter. And Walter said, I got to go to the altar. There's some higher calling me than this crack or this cocaine. There's something greater calling me for this. I want to win the war. I don't want to just win a battle. And the eagle goes in mother, and he starts breaking his beak. He has to use his force to break his beak upon a rock. Jesus. And as the Bible says, upon this solid rock I what? Stand. He breaks his beak upon that rock, and they say it's bloody. It's bloody how he breaks that beak against that rock. It's his decision. It's his decision. If you don't break it, he starves. And that's just like some Christians. If you don't break your antics and your behaviorisms and your mindset, spiritually you'll starve. You'll starve. He breaks his beak and it's bloody, but that ain't it. That's not it. And now he has to go and he has to break his talons. His fingernails, his what we would call fingernails, he has to break those. Now he know after I break this beak and I break these, I have no ammunition if something else tried to get me, because I can't really fly because my wings and feathers are too heavy. So he prepares himself for this by flying high into the mountains where other birds can't fly. I think I told him one time we was having leadership class, and I say the way an eagle deals with a pigeon, or a crow, because crows are the only birds that will attack eagles. Oh, nasty black crow. What they try to do is wait till the eagle's flying, and then they come around from the back of the eagle and jump on the eagle's neck. Brother Kali, it never phases the eagle, because the eagle know who he is. So the eagle never tried to get back there and fight or start flying crazy. You know what the eagle do? He soars. He goes higher and higher. And the higher he go, he know eventually the crow can't breathe. He never have to fight his own battle. All he has to do is continue to soar. Now, somebody come at you, you ready to put up fists. You ready to talk about them and get your little gang together. We're going to jump them if they do this or this right here, or you're going to put out false pretense on them. But if you're a true soarer, if you're a true Christian, you don't have to say a word. Somebody say, just soar. Just soar, and all those amps and demons and witches and all those things will start falling off because they can't breathe where God's taking you. You let too many pigeons stop you from your vision. You let too many red birds stop you from attaining what God has already, watch this here, preordained, which means that it was already yours before you were born. You're just scared to grab it because you have become distracted by pigeons, by vultures, by crows. The eagle flies, he soars, and he gets up there. So now he's made the decision, I'm going to break my beak. Now he knows all this flying. He knows what's ahead of him. That's why I tell people, do not lie to people when they come to Christ. Everything's going to be fine. Now take them to the cafeteria and give them some warm milk and cookies. No, give them some spinach and some corn on the cob and some turnip greens because they're going to need that energy. Because all hell is getting ready to break loose in their life. And they're going to need to know how to fight by way of the Spirit. Now he goes and he's up there and he says, okay, now I got to break my fingernails, my talons. And he breaks the talons off because they old too. They can't cut up a caterpillar no more. He cuts these up and they're bloody. So now the main part of his face and his legs all decapitated, all cut off. But he's still standing. He's still standing. And then here's the third part here that's interesting about patience while you grow. Patience while you go to grow. Patience while you endure this pain for your purpose. The pain comes in light of your purpose. The pain comes to strengthen you for the better. But when we get pains, we think God has forgotten us. And God hasn't forgotten you. He's just strengthening you for the storms. He's helped build up your immune system. He's helping to build up your heart and your ear gates and your eye gates. So things that used to bother you when people was over there huddled up about you, they don't bother you no more. You walk right over there now, instead of cussing people out, you walk over there and say, God bless y'all. How y'all doing today? Now, you know when you leave, they're going to talk about you. But all you got to say, well, y'all be blessed. I'm soaring. I'm soaring. I'm soaring. I'm moving. I know they talking about me, but they talking about me where? Behind me. I'm forgetting those things where? Behind me. And the Bible say that I'm pressing toward the mark of the what? Higher called Jesus. Come on, somebody. I'm pressing toward the mark. Now he's up here. Mother Brooks, he's up here and he's tore off all his fingernails we call talons. So he has no protection here or here. And he has to wait. He has to wait until his beak and his talons grow back before he can complete the process. I'm preaching to myself. He has to go and make sure that before I can complete this process, I got to wait for what I just broke, this bloody beak. I got to wait for it to grow back. Then I got to wait for my talons to grow back before I can do the last part of this. Pluck out my feathers. I need strong talons and a strong beak to start getting rid of old things. I need these talons to be strong so when I pull off old things, they won't continue to be attached to me. So I have to make sure that my spirit is strong enough so when I start pulling away doubt from me and I start pulling away sickness from me and I start claiming healing and I start moving away from being poor and I start moving away from downing myself and talking bad about myself. I start pulling away from excuses. I have to make sure that my talons are strong enough so that when I pull that my talons won't come off, but the feathers of what used to be are now moving on. That's why I'm so glad I don't look back, because the Bible says if you look back, you're not fit to enter into his kingdom. God wants people that's going to look ahead. Yeah, it's going to be tough, but I'm looking ahead. Now, doing all this, it takes 6 months for the beak to grow back and the talons to be at full strength. 6 months. Somebody say patience. The Bible declares, let patience have her perfect works. So I don't know who's waiting in here today. I don't know who God has put a promise out there and it seems like it's just right beyond your reach. He has given you a vision in your life, that you hadn't been able to actually sustain yet, or a new promotion on your job, or another better place to live, or whatever it may be, your children getting better, whatever it is, he has put that before you, but now you're in the period of waiting. Now I got to wait. Now I have to exemplify how patient I am. I can recall my nephew. He's a true soldier for Christ. And the prophecy came out to him at watch night service. I couldn't remember it. His mama had to remind me. You're going to leave Florida, but where you're going to go is a place you never imagined. I had forgot that. That's why the Bible always has somebody to write down the prophecy, because a true prophet don't really remember what they said, because it's never them. They're just being used. And he was there. Oh, hallelujah. Thank you, Pastor. I believe you said it before and it has come true. It has come to pass, but this was different because now he's grown. Now he's out on his own. He was at Florida, and Florida's a great place to be, but he wasn't where God told him he was going. And so he gets through all the fanfare and all that of being at a big school and playing in front of 90,000 people every week and getting the best of everything and the best of the hotels and all that. No, he's at a place now where he say, I'm moved more by what God has for me than where I am. He say, I'm more moved now by what God has preordained in my life than the luxuries of where I am. A lot of people would have stayed there. You get to eat good like a king every day. You don't have to worry about no clothing, Air Jordans all the way around, and people love you for what you do, not for who you are. He started pressing. And because people kept telling him, you're going places. And he's a very gifted man, spiritually and physically. But the more people told him, he was encouraged in the beginning, but now it starts to become an irritation. Because I've had so many people tell me, but it hadn't come to pass. And so he'll get this place, he'll get this lead, he'll get this lead. And then the other places that he could have gone, the head coach said, I'm not letting you go there. God is speaking through the head man. I'm not letting you go there just to get a room. Because if I let you go there just to get a room, you'll be buried there for life. God wasn't caring about a room. God trying to build his faith. So he waits and he continued to process. And that's what I want to tell you today. While you're waiting on God to move, don't you stop moving. You cannot stop moving when you're waiting on God to move, because God's move is probably predicated off your next ability to continue to be moving. God say, I want to see if you're going to trust me enough to continue to go ahead even when you cannot see your way out. When you can't see your way out and you keep going, then you know that is God. He kept moving, and he kept interviewing, and he kept interviewing. He'll call, Pastor, hey, Tate, how you doing? I interviewed with these people here, and these people out here in Texas are interested in me, and these people over here such and such. Oh, that's good, man. That's good. But what are they saying? Then next he'll get another call. And I talked to my sister, and she said, Pastor, I told him it's going to happen in God's time. She said, you remember when you said that God said, it's going to be a place that he never fathomed. I said, I don't remember that. She said, you said it. I said, well, I said it then. Lord said it. It was getting close. Now he's in the process of getting ready to get married. But even in his faith, he still prayed and believed in God. Lord, let me have my own room prior to my wedding. Let me have my own room prior to my wedding. Somebody say faith. Hey, see, that's like the eagle. The eagle keeps on plucking regardless. He can't make the wings grow back. He can't make the feathers grow back. He just knows they'll grow back, because that's how God deals with them. So he just knows they will grow back. So Kali sits out there, and next thing I know, it happens in a day, because God moves like that. One minute he's talking about this school right here, then this school right here comes right up and talk to him, and they say the next day he got the job. What? You should clap. I know it's not your son, but when little Eddie get up there, people gonna clap for him too. That's the problem down there. We can't celebrate other people in the church. But now if it was your little pistol starter, you want everybody to stand up for pistol starter because he finally got out the third grade. The next day, he has the job. He talked to the head coach. The head coach, he started wanting to go over all this stuff on the board because that's what they do. The head coach say, man, you're already hired. We don't have to do all that. The connection with them were two things. The great coach, he's gotten great references from a lot of people, but he's a man of God. The connection came from him being an apex predator by way of the Spirit. Because if you know Kylie, he going to talk about Christ in and everywhere he can, whether it's in somebody's house recruiting, whether it's out to dinner, whether it's on the phone. For those who really know him, Christ going to come out of his mouth in some way, form, or fashion every time you talk to him. An apex predator like this eagle I'm talking about. Now the eagle has plucked out his wings and he waits. He waits on those other wings to grow because he has sacrificed himself. And he understands that now this pressure that I've been up under and this pain is about to bring me promise. He knows that this pain is going to bring me promise. And now what I'm doing through my decision making is I have now put 30 years on my life. Jesus. He has put 30 years on his life because he made the decision to go ahead and bust his beak off, tear off his talons, and pick his feathers. And it took 6 months for this process to manifest. But once it manifests, now he's sowing again. No, he's sowing again. 30 more years this joker got. When man would have said, stop, the eagle say, no way, because there's a difference in the mindset of an apex predator and somebody just existing. Jesus. The problem in the church is the people who are apex predators, they stand up when some hit them. When somebody just a member, when somebody just going, they sit because they don't expect to rise. They don't expect to soar. They expect to smoke. They expect to drink. They expect to lie. They expect to cuss. And cussers can't be around predators. They can't be around sores. They can't be around apex predators because you don't think the same. If you don't think the same, you can't talk the same. If you can't talk the same, you can't communicate at all. So don't get mad when you talk to somebody that's saved and they don't understand. Just like when they talk to you, you don't understand because you can't understand them. The two don't mix. Paul in the Bible is trying to make sure that he get this point across about the 3 things that it take when you put on the whole armor of God. The whole armor of God, and we're going to talk about these 3 things next week. The strength that comes when you put on the whole armor of God. How you are able to stand when you put on the whole armor of God. And how you can overcome your struggle, Jesus, when you put on the whole armor of God. Because some of us got problems in here, and we're going to dissect the armor of God. All pieces of the armor except one piece are designed, Deacon Dixon, to make sure that they protect us. The helmet of salvation, the breastplate of righteousness, the belt, and the brass shoes are all designed, somebody holler, protect. We got 5 things that protect us when the Bible talks about putting on the whole armor of God. Now he gives us one thing, somebody say one, to fight back. One thing to fight back. For the eagle, his one thing was his mind. We have the same thing in our mind, but the ammunition that God gave us to fight back was the sword. The sword is what he gives us to fight back. All the other 5 pieces we put on are for our protection, which lets us know that the devil is going to come at you any and every way he can, sideways, up and down, all around. He's going to come at you through your ears, through your eyes, through your nose, through your mouth, through your feelings. He's going to come at you all kinds of ways. But God say, I'm going to protect you. So Pastor Wynn, let them know this morning that I'm going to protect them, and no matter how it looks in their life, they can still win. I don't care how long it has been. I don't care how tough it is. I don't care how broke you are. I don't care how many tear ducts you've cried. Tell a neighbor you can still win. Oh, you can still win this thing. I promise you, as a true soldier, you can still win if you doubt not. You can still win if you supplicate yourself. You can still win. Meditating myself, I can still win. So if a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. If you want to be established, you can be if you think it. Write your vision and make it plain. The eagle knew what he had to do. He knew it would hurt him. He knew it would be painful. Paul knew what he had to do. He knew it would be painful in jail. He knew being tied to the officer, but it didn't stop him because he has never lost his hunger for life. The eagle never lost his hunger, Al, for life. And he know to get those next 30 years, he had to pay a price. And the price was through pain. And the price was being alone. Being alone. We don't like being alone. We like the comfort of someone else's ears or the comfort of somebody else listening to us. But some problems, you have to deal with them by yourself. Some things, even as a man, as the head of house, you have to deal with them by yourself. You love your wife. Dixon, I'm telling the truth, you love your wife, but there are some things that the wife ain't meant to hear. If that's the case, let her stand up and use the bathroom like you. There has to be, listen now, I'm serious about this because pretty church is over. There has to be separation between husband and wife. The husband has to be the one willing to be subjected to more pain than the I wish I thought I was going to have some men stand up there besides you on that. Some other men who say, I'm the head of my house and it ain't easy, it's hard, and sometimes I want to quit, and sometimes I want to give up, but I'm going to remember this sermon today. I can still win. I know it's going to be painful and it's going to be hard, but it's not impossible. I can do all things through Christ Jesus that strengthens me. I'm going to encourage myself. If the eagle can do it, I can do it. If the eagle can soar, I can soar. If the eagle can inflict pain that he must endure to grow, then I can inflict pain amongst myself that will ensure me growth in my life. Who's tired of losing? Be honest. Who's tired of losing? If you're tired of losing, stand. Stand. You tired of losing. Who's tired of fighting?
You've just had an experience with champions, and we are so glad that you tuned in today. Let's continue to honor God through our commitment to give. There are 4 ways to give. You can give online via Cash App at $Champions for Christ. Next, you can give online at www.championsforchristim.org. Lastly, you can give during service or on our mobile app available in the Apple and Google Play stores. Please be sure to tune in each and every week to our online broadcast. Encourage others to tune in with you. Remember, we are champions because we are champions for Christ.